It is Tuesday, September 2nd, and the U.S. military striking cartel targets from Venezuela for the first time. All of this just breaking. President Trump saying these targets were from Venezuela.
When you come out and when you leave the room, you'll see that we just, over the last few minutes, literally shot out a boat, a drug-carrying boat, a lot of drugs in that boat. And you'll be seeing that and you'll be reading about that. It just happened moments ago, and our great general, head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who's been so incredible, including what took place in Iran, knocking out potential nuclear power for a long time to come. I think within a month they would have had it if we didn't do what we did. But he gave us a little bit of a briefing, and you'll see. And there's more where that came from. We have a lot of drugs pouring into our country, coming in for a long time. And we just, these came out of Venezuela and coming out very heavily from Venezuela. A lot of things are coming out of Venezuela. So we took it out, and you'll get to see that after this meeting is over.
Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Raisin Kane, green-lighting the first airstrike on a Venezuelan drug cartel this morning, striking a drug vessel sent from Venezuela. Secretary of State Marco Rubio also confirming the U.S. military conducted a lethal strike, he says, against this Venezuelan drug vessel, that the ship departed from Venezuela before being blown out of the sea, posting on X just moments ago that the vessel was being operated by a designated narco-terror organization, and saying this is the reason the U.S. has boosted its wartime force in the waters off Venezuela to combat these threats, they said, from the drug cartels. And look, this coming after President Trump authorized kinetic force a few weeks ago on cartel positions, on assets, and key personnel, signing that secret directive 2 weeks ago. This is a big deal. The first time we've done so, that the U.S. has used military action, kinetic action, on drug interdiction since 1989. Under President Bush Sr. was the last time we did this, when he ordered the invasion of Panama to arrest Manuel Noriega. For 35 years, the cartels have been allowed to just fester, expand. Not anymore. There's a new sheriff in town, and it's costing them billions. The cartels, costing the cartels billions of dollars in revenues. Watch.
There was a day, where we had, 2,700 apprehensions, or 2,300 people on the ground in one area and another area. If you extrapolate out that data, we're really costing them over $1 billion, in their business model.
Jonathan Fahey is a former acting ICE director and former federal prosecutor, joins me now. Simply put, Jonathan, it looks like after years and years of just talk, the United States, under the Trump administration, is turning the screws on those who, one, try to poison us, but two, those who try to human traffic across our borders.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro warning over the weekend he's more than prepared, he says, to deal with the threats from the United States, responding by deploying 15,000 troops of his own along Venezuela's coast and their border region, specifically Colombia, saying over the weekend his military is ready for whatever Trump's planning, that they've long speculated the U.S. would use naval forces off their coast as a distraction while invading from Colombia. Maduro delivering this warning to the United States.
Donald Trump, usted tiene que cuidarse, porque Marco Rubio quiere manchar sus manos de sangre, con sangre suramericana, caribeña, con sangre venezolana. Lo quieren llevar a un baño de sangre y que su apellido, Trump, se manche de sangre por los siglos de los siglos. Si Venezuela fuera agredida, pasaría inmediatamente al periodo de lucha armada en defensa del territorio nacional y de la historia y del pueblo de Venezuela. Y declararíamos constitucionalmente a la República en armas. Lucha armada y República en armas. De norte a sur, de este a oeste, para garantizar la paz, la soberanía y el desarrollo del país en cualquier circunstancia que nos toque.
Yet Trump's now sealed the southern border, forcing these cartels to switch to sea, transporting their product by boat or ship. And already in the last week, the U.S. Coast Guard has seized multiple cartel ships, seizing huge quantities of drugs and weapons, and now this morning bombing one of these ships to Kingdom Come. This is without question crushing their business. And the dirty secret, though, is it's not just the cartels that are going to be suffering from this. It's the people in power in some of these Latin American countries. The State Department declaring Maduro a narco-terrorist. Also in Mexico, the cartels, they've infested the Mexican government. Even the president of Mexico herself, her political party rather, the Moreno party, is allegedly in business with the cartels. And you know what happens when you mess with people's money, right? They strike back. Now, the interesting thing about this is how the Trump administration is targeting Venezuela first. Everyone knows if you want to go after the drug cartels, you do so in Colombia and Mexico. Both of them, though, allies with the United States. Venezuela, however, not our ally. In fact, our enemy. Nicolas Maduro, a pure socialist leader, the successor to Hugo Chavez, and is allied with Russia, China, and Iran. Also, Venezuela happens to be one of the most strategically important countries in our hemisphere. Huge oil resources and rare earth minerals located in Venezuela. General Laura Richardson of Southcom, the commander of Southcom, openly explaining this to the Atlantic Council, why she says it's critical the U.S. obtains operational control over Venezuela. You can't make this up. Watch.
If I talk to my number two adversary in the region, Russia, I mean, I've got, of course, the countries, Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua with Russia relationships. But why this region matters, with all of its rich resources and rare earth elements. You've got the lithium triangle, which is needed for technology today. 60% of the world's lithium is in the lithium triangle: Argentina, Bolivia, Chile. You just have the largest oil reserves, light sweet crude, discovered off of Guyana over a year ago. You have Venezuela's resources as well with oil, copper, gold. We have the Amazon, lungs of the world. We have the 31% of the world's fresh water in this region too. I mean, it's just off the charts. We have a lot to do. This region matters. It has a lot to do with national security, and we need to step up our game.
So is this really about eradicating the drug cartels? I don't know. It seems like it might be a kill two birds with one stone approach. Use this as moral justification for using kinetic force in Venezuela, which creates insecurity in the country, allowing CIA to more easily carry out regime change, something you'd think Tulsi Gabbard would be opposed to. Let me know what you think about this. We've been reporting on this for a week now, that we would see Trump use kinetic action in Venezuela, and it's happening. It has happened. If I were Maduro, I'd be concerned right about now. All right, that wraps up this episode. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.